record. So in the last class, we learned a lot about how we can build a very good graphical user interfaces using Java Swings and A.BD classes. Okay, so you can use Swing or an applet viewer in order to build an means in order to see the output how the graphical user interface we can build with Java. Okay, so only difference is in applet viewer you don't have a main function. Okay, so that's why initially I told that this is a lightweight. Whenever we are going to build any application using Java Spring, that is a graphical user interface using Java Spring, it is lightweight because here everything is Java. It does not depends on any operating system, so that it can draw, it can develop any graphical user interface. Here everything is Java is going to build your graphical user interfaces. Nothing operating system comes to help for this program. Okay, so that's why this is a lightweight, and as we know that if everything is Java, of course Java is an not dependent on any machines, is an independent. It can work in anywhere. If it just you need an virtual machine, Java virtual machine, it can run anywhere in any. It's a platform independent. Okay, so we come across a lot of components and containers in Java Springs. Okay, even I have given some of the examples. Ma'am have given a lot of examples with respect to components and containers. The thing is, the containers are very important here because we can add any number of component into a containers. Okay, so we come across a lot of containers like frames, panel. Okay, so there are other containers also there. They are lightweight. Okay, so today we are going to learn one more such type of lightweight container that is called JS scroll panel. You have, I think everybody clear with tab panel. Is it right? J tab panel, J tab pen. Okay, in the last class you learned about that. So today we are going to learn about JScroll panel. Okay, it's JScroll pan. Of course, I told that it's a lightweight container. So it means that you can add any number of component within this container. That is, whatever the JScroll pan you are going to build, like an user interface. Okay, so you can add any number of components like button, text field, like radio buttons, like labels, any components you can add into this container, lightweight container. Okay, so it can handle all these type of components. What it is going to provide to those components is it is going to provide the scrolling capability to these components. Regardless, suppose if I want, suppose if I open Notepad, okay, so if you go on typing something on this Notepad, okay, up to end, you cannot see any scrolling, is it right? Once you come to the end, you can even go on type on the Notepad, okay. So when the maximum area covered within the viewport, what you are seeing, if you want to enter some more in that Notepad means you have to scroll down in order to see your information, is it right? So it means that Notepad is just a text component. Is it right? Notepad is what? It's a text component. Similar, like you can work like a JText thing. Okay. So I want to provide this component with scrolling capability means I want to add this container into this JText so that your Notepad will have a scrolling capability, whether it may be horizontal scrolling capability, whether it may be a vertical scrolling capability. This is how the exact JScroll pan looks like. See, we know that we have one container called JFrame. Okay, within that we are going to create another container called scroll pen. So whatever the component is there, we are going to provide the scrolling capability to those component. Okay, it may be with some heading, some portion what information you want to view. Okay, or you can provide a scrolling capability in the form of horizontal way or in the form of vertical way. Okay, anything is there. Okay, so to add those capability into your component in a Java graphical user interface development, you are going to use this JScroll pan Okay, JScroll pen container. Okay, so normally the component being can be either individual component or a table or a group of components contained with another lightweight container such as JPanel. You got it? Anything it may be. Whatever the scrolling capability you can provide with components may be either a single or individual component like a text field as I explained you, or you can have a table. You may know that you may have numerous columns and numerous rows. You want to see all the things within the viewport means you have to either go with horizontal scrolling or vertical scrolling. Okay, or suppose you may have numerous button within another containers like a JPanels. So if you want to provide the scrolling capability for this, again with the container itself, then we are going to use this scroll pen. Okay. So whatever the weaving, the component you want to weave, that portion we normally call it as a viewport. Okay. So the weavable area of scroll pane where the component is exactly present, okay, or a container like a JPanel present, this portion is called viewport. It is a window in which component being called as displayed. Okay. So whenever you included any component into this particular container, then it automatically had or removes a scroll bar as needed. Okay. So I want to build a scroll pen in my GUI means what are the things I need to take care. Okay. There are these tips normally you have to use in order to add a scroll pen. Okay. So the first thing is you want to create a component to be scrolled. That is either text field you want to scroll, or a buttons you want to scroll, or a label you want to scroll, or a J panel you want to scroll. Okay, first you create those components or a containers in which you want to apply the scrolling capability. Okay, so once you create that, you are going to create instances of this class. What is this class? JScrollPan. Okay. Once you create a first step is you create a component. Okay. So now you want to provide a scrolling capability into that component. Is it right? Then so in order to do that, first thing is you want to create an instances for this particular class. Okay. You want to create an object for this particular class. So once you create an object for this particular class, pause this. Okay, pause to hit the object to scroll. So whatever the object, that component you have created, is it right? You want to pause that object into this scroll pane instance. You got it? So once the scroll pane is added, you can have a scrolling capability with respect to that particular component. Three things you need to care. Okay, first, once again I'm repeating you. First thing is you create a component in which you want to apply the scrolling capability. Okay, next thing is you create an object or an instances for this particular class. Okay, in the constructor you have to pass whatever the object you have created into this class. Okay, once you've done that, okay, sorry, you create an object. Okay, you don't bother about any constructors. Okay, just create about a scrolling object. Okay, and create about an component object. Okay, once you've done that, you want to add this component object into this crawling object. Okay, that's what you have to take care. Okay, now to add this. So what we do is we will have one example. You'll understand how it will work. Okay, so I'm going to use Eclipse in order to show that example. Okay, so the entire screen I'm going to select. So is it visible? Is it visible? Eclipse is visible for you guys? Can anybody text me here? I can. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then it's visible. Right? Fine. So today we are going to learn one simple example. Okay, this example is with respect to how to add a scrolling capability into some text area. Okay, so we know that if you create any component with respect to J text area, we are going to create one text box where we can enter any text related or information into that box. Is it right? So for that we are going to apply the scrolling capability. That's what in our example we are going to learn. Okay, so up to this you don't have any doubts. Okay, sorry, we are importing necessary interfaces, classes, or packages into our application. So I think nobody have any doubt in this. So of course, now to build a frame, I need to uh, import all the necessary interfaces, public classes, methods, everything with respect to creating a frame. Okay, like that. In order to create a container like JPanel, again I need to import everything from this particular package. uh, I want to build and scrolling capability means I want to import all the necessary information, classes, methods, interfaces, or whatever it is from this particular package. See, so for scrolling capability, you have to import the package like this: javax.swing.scroll pane. Okay. Next, of course, for a texting component related things, you have to import from this package. Okay. So next thing is I'm going to create one class. Okay, I'm going to create name it as a scroll pane. My application name is similar to scroll pane. Okay, my application name. Okay, the first thing is I'm going to add a frame. Okay, I need some window. Is it right? In order to add some text area into that window means I need to create one frame. So that frame I'm going to name it as heart. Okay, so once it is created, I'm going to add some panel. Again, panel you already learned. Ma'am have explained lot about this information. Okay, so this is similar to like a frame, but we can add it within a frame. Okay, it's a lightweight container. Within this, I can add any number of components. Okay, or even different number of components within this panel. Okay, so you know how to add that. You have to use some add function. That's enough. Okay, and it's a flow layout. Okay, up to this you are all aware. You know, you need not to have some explanation for this. Okay, and you know how to create a text area. It should be instances for this particular class in order to create a text, like some text box. Okay, so if you want to enter information on that, so what we have to do is you have to create an instances for this particular class. Okay, so if you create this instances, t area is just a box, okay, of size 10 into 10. Okay, size of 10 into 10. Okay, so as we learned that there are three steps we need to take care. Is it right? First, we have to create the component where we have to apply the scrolling capability. Is it right? This is the first step I have done. Okay, so to which I am applying the scroll pin thing, to particularly for this text box. Okay, text area instances I am applying. So the component I am using is a text editing area. Okay, so the next thing is you have to again create an instances for this particular class. First, create an instances for an component. Next, create an instances for this JScroll pane. Okay, and add this item, the component, into the constructor of this. All of you got this information? Okay. First, create a component. My component is an instances to this particular class. Okay, I have given the name called T area. Okay, so that instances I'm going to add into the scroll page. Okay, you need to remember that. Okay, so I can create without any component also, no problem. Okay, first we will create this. I'll show how I can create a scroll pen without the component also. Okay, so once it is created, the next thing is I want to add this scroll pane into a container, that is panel container, JPanel. All of you got this? Three things you need to remember. All this in a three line. First, create an instances for an component. Okay, then add that component into the instances of this scroll pane. Once you added that component, then add this scroll pane into the frame or a panel. Okay, this is what you have to take care. Rest things are frame things. You already learned how to do this. Okay, you need to remember these three lines in order to add a simple scroll pane into your application. Okay, let us run this. Okay, see, I have a frame called hi here. So all of you, I think you can see the output. Okay, my question, can you see the output? Can anybody type here? Yeah, can you see the output? Yes, yes. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, so you can see the output here. So we know that we have created a frame called hi. Okay, the name we have given for our frame. The entire thing is a JPattern. Again, it is a container, lightweight container. We can add any number of container or component to this. Okay, and we have created one component called a text. Is it right? One component called text field. Okay, text field. We can enter any information in this text field. See, okay, forget about this. So we can enter any information into this text field, either horizontal or vertical. Okay, like this, like this. Okay, the thing is, till now it is similar to a notepad what you have worked with, is it right? So once I come to the end of this line, again if I want to enter some information means I have to go down, is it right? So once I go down, how can I see the above information if I don't have any scrolling things available into my application? That's what we are going to apply the scrolling capability into this particular text field. Okay, see, once I enter into the next line, so once it reached the maximum portion of the given, that is 10 cross 10, our scrolling capability came. Got it? I can now move horizontally or sorry, vertically or horizontally. See, this is what we are going to achieve using the J scroll pane class, using this class to this particular component. You got it now? So I can go now anything horizontally or anything vertically. See, if I want to see my recently edited text means I can move either down or up side or right or left side. See, this is what we can do using this scroll pane. Got it? Okay, fine. So that's all. Okay, let us one more example with respect to scroll pen itself. So here also the same thing. Yeah. Okay. So same thing, but we will learn some of the important information. Okay, some of the information using that. So only what are the things you need to remember here? The thing is, first you create a component. So first you create a component. Next, so create a instances to your scroll pen. Add this component into this scroll pen. So we can. So for example, let us come to the previous example. I told that without component also I can create a scroll pen. So if I create a scroll pen without component means I cannot see a component if I run this. See, so three way you can call the constructor of scroll pen. One is without any parameters into your constructor. So if I call this, see, simply I have just added only scroll pen, is it right, into your panel. I have not added text area, is it right? So it means let us add that also, no problem. Add that also. So in my panel, I'm going to add text area. What is the object name? Okay, fine. Let us run this. Okay. See, I have a text, is it right? And even I have a scroll pen also. But I have not added this component into this particular scroll pen means even if we type like this, see, I don't have scrolling capability. It's just go on extending, that's all. I don't have any scrolling capability. Got it? Okay. Okay. So suppose I want to see upside or downside, or suppose left side or right side, it is not at all possible me. You just see, not at all possible. So to provide the scrolling capability, what we have to do is you have to add a parameter. What is the parameter you have to add? Component name, that is recently what we created. then which is an instances to particular component. Okay, so now you can easily see same example. Once you reach the maximum, we will have a scrolling capability. You got it? Okay, like that. It is another area. So example, this is also similar to the previous example. Just I want to show what will happen if I see till now we learned only one parameter we pass with our constructor. Is it right? Like that, we can pass other parameters, either the vertical layout visibility or horizontal layout visibility. Based on this, I can add two more mm, parameter into my constructor. Okay, so one is this parameter is the way how my vertical scroll bar looks like. Okay, so whether if go on entering any information into your text, it is always applied the vertical scroll bar, or it never apply to vertical scroll bar, or sometimes if needed, as needed, it can be applied. Okay, all these uh, values you can pass directly here. The same thing you can pass with respect to horizontal scroll bar also. Okay, first we are going to use always. Okay, always means whenever, if you see, the difference is in the previous example, if I run this, see, initially we don't have any scroll pan. Is it right? We, when we are going to add some information, when it reaches the maximum uh, capability of my text window, then automatically this scroll pen has come into existence. Is it right? So see, in this example, we are telling the compiler, sorry, we are telling our GUI that whether the maximum, it reached the maximum text area or minimum text area. So I should have that scroll pen always. Okay, that is what comes with respect to this always value. Okay, suppose I can have never. Sorry, my keyboard is not working. Okay. I can have never. See, I I have created my graphical user interface with a text field. I have applied even scrolling capability. Whether I am telling that, so whether in horizontal level, if it reach the maximum text area or not, this horizontal scroll is always present. Okay, so the vertical, whether it is reach the maximum limit or even it is not meet the maximum, the scroll is not available. Okay, so that's how I'm going to show you how. See, the horizontal, it is available. See, horizontal is available. The vertical is not there. Is it right? If I go with vertical, numerous lines also, I don't have the vertical scroll bar here. Okay, but horizontal have. That's what you can have a different values here. One is either I can have always or never, or we can have one more thing called as needed. Okay, so I can have like this. So when it is needed, then scroll bar automatically added into your component. Okay, so one thing is the component, the scroll bar is always present in terms of vertical visibility, but sorry, in terms of horizontal visibility. But when come to vertical visibility, it will only appear into your text field, that is a component, when actually needed. Okay, let us run this. Okay, see, initially I don't have vertical scroll bar. Is it right? But whether I have a maximum limit with my text field or not, I have always horizontal scroll bar capability. Okay, there's no problem with this. See, there's no problem with horizontal. Okay, I can go right or left. Okay, it's always present. But initially I don't have vertical. Is it right? Now I reached to the maximum limit of window. What I can see, is it right? See, once I enter in the needed, when actually it needed, automatically the vertical scroll bar has enter into your component. See, this is what these values actually do as needed. Got it? I think so. Okay. So only three things you need to take care. One is these things you are all aware. Okay, no need of explanation again and again. The first thing is create an instances for the component what you have to provide the scrolling capability. Second thing is create an instances for the JScroll pan and add that instances of an component here, and you can have some more parameters you can pass with. Okay, these are like how your visibility with respect to horizontal scroll bar or vertical scroll bar. Okay, that's all. So I'm going to stop this. Okay, any doubt in this? Any doubts? Any doubts in JScroll pan? Somebody have typed is okay. So can you can you ask the question here so I can answer you the public chat? Okay, I need everybody to poll here so I'll understand. There are 97, 98 people are there. Okay, only few have polled now. Do it fast. So we'll go to one more component. 99 people. Poll it fast. No doubts. But yeah, okay. Okay. Fine. So we'll go to the next thing. Very important. Now you don't have any problem with this scroll pen. Okay.